Hello and welcome back to another episode of Inside the Tank, presented by CW Sports Memorabilia. I'm your host, Tyler Rains, joined by my co-host, Alex Fortadall. And there is a lot that has gone on this week of Steelheads hockey. We're going to talk about it. Plus, you'll see the debut of our first new segment on the show called First Cast with special guest Jake Uberti. So stay tuned for that. We're going to just be covering that in a little bit. But first, go over some of the week ahead and the week of the past week of games. So, Alex, I got to ask you, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. A weekend of losses is not great. I will say, though, a team can only play with so much momentum until that momentum runs out, right? Even some of the best teams in hockey, lose a streak. And in the case of Mississauga, their point streak ended. It was 10 points, 10 games with a point streak. Yeah, that's insane. And the thing is, that's the second time they've done that this season.
Yep.
And that just shows how consistent they've been a majority of the year, right? But yeah, a couple losses, tough losses too. So we have some interesting stuff to talk about. Yeah.
I guess we'll go into the first game, which was against the Oshawa Generals. This was a rematch of the 3-1 game.
Mm-hmm.
This one was on Saturday. Or sorry,
it wasn't Saturday.
It's a little bit interesting because I believe the game against Niagara was postponed, and this was a game that was rescheduled. So there's a lot of shift, like schedule changes and stuff like that. So it's kind of confusing for those at home who you're trying to kind of understand what's going on. We're trying to understand that too. So it's a little bit of a kind of mixed up schedule. This game, they looked okay. I'm not going to say they looked the best because they didn't look the best, but they looked okay. They had a lead for a majority of the game. And, it was just like, that was your regular game. Sometimes you have shootout losses like this one. Other times you don't. It is what it is. Owen Beck had 2 points, which that's worth mentioning because, again, he's second in rookie scoring now.
He was first. Right next to David Goyette. Great player. It's going to be a tight battle for that. But yeah, Owen Beck had 2 points. He's been consistently good all year, winning. I believe he's top 3 in faceoff percentage. So
it's crazy.
That is crazy.
The other thing that I want to talk about, we were talking about last episode about how the depth is starting to stack up. One of those players that I noticed is Aiden Pruder because he's starting to he's starting to heat up. Okay.
Offensively, absolutely, yes.
Because
consistently,
not only has he been more feisty in terms of his play style, but I mean, like he's getting more involved in plays and everything like that, which is amazing to see.
It's awesome to see, especially from a player who, if I can be honest here, isn't known for his offensive game, or at least throughout his OHL career from Saginaw to the 1920 season with Mississauga. Aiden Pruder wasn't an offensive dynamite or anything, So it's absolutely positive to see him contribute as good as he has offensively, at least in the past 2 to 3 games, right?
Yeah.
So.
And then that was so it was a shootout loss. I've got mixed opinions on the shootout. We'll talk about that on the hockey show, but it should never come down to individual skills. I know that people want continuous overtime, but I mean, like, there's no quick way to really end it. You know what I mean?
Ties can't be a thing. I personally am totally fine with the shootout. I will say, though,
of ties has passed.
It's tie. Yeah. But I will say, though, if continuous overtime is just going to kill the players mentally and physically, then you got to do a shootout.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it's sometimes that's just the way it has to be. So, I mean, it's a shootout loss. They still got a point out of it. 10-game point streak. Only to have it spoiled by Peterborough.
That was a fun game.
Because
that was a bloodbath. Yeah, that was a fun one.
This team wants to set a franchise record. The hockey gods are like, no.
No,
thank you.
Yeah.
They were going into this and they were gonna tie a franchise record for most consecutive games with a point. So the longest point streak with 11 games. And if they would have gone on to do that, it would have been tonight against Peterborough again. And they would have set a franchise record with 12 games.
That's if they beat Peterborough, of course, or at least head to the shootout against Peterborough.
No, this game quickly got away from them. Zach Lavoie scored the opening goal. Then all hell started to break loose, and I think you know what I'm talking about. So if you haven't seen the highlights already, It was a little bit after the first couple of goals were scored. Artem Guriev, who was traded over from Hamilton, I believe.
I believe so.
It was a bit of a nasty hit. Pruder went down. He came in and he kneed him in the head.
You need him in the head. Then Pruder got up, sucker punched him. Sucker punched him. Yeah, that was. Listen. Yeah.
I don't blame Aiden for fighting. I don't blame Pruder for fighting back, because I mean, you can't have that sort of thing happen. And he knew.
Oh no,
it wasn't an accident. Like, that was a blatant, like, hey, he kneed him in the head.
At least to Aiden, right? And funny enough, when I spoke to him for a post game, which you can check out, by the way, at Pro Shot Podcast, at the Pro Shot Podcast YouTube channel, where we post our post game interviews after Steelhead home games. And Pruder, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but Pruder said, "If someone messes with me, I'll mess with them," or something along the lines of that. So, and that was pretty evident, especially on that play with that retaliation, with that punch to Guriev.
I think more than ever, it was just like unexpected. You know what I mean? Because, like, I get it. It was
the punch or the kneeing.
Well, both. That whole play. Because I mean,
sure, yeah.
We're sitting up in the stands because, you know, media is obviously games.
Yeah.
But and I remember turning to you and just like, whoa, what the heck just happened?
Yeah. And then all I see is Pruder on the ground. He comes up and he sucker punches Guriev. Yeah, well, if that's how Pruder's going to play, that's how Pruder's going to play. Personally, on a morality basis, I don't disagree with that. But, you know.
He's always been that kind of like take no BS type of player, which absolutely I respect the hell out of, because if and Ethan Del Mastro is the same way. He's developed into that kind of player, because I mean, right then and there, right after that happened, Del Mastro came to Pruder's defense and was like,
"Oh yeah," and he went to the penalty box, right, for whatever the heck call, unsportsmanlike conduct or whatnot, right? Or I don't know, right? Yeah, but
you love to see that kind of thing, and I mean, like, it's all about not just standing up for yourself, but standing up for your teammates. And
that's true.
We talked a little bit last week about how this group is such a tight knit group, and that's definitely evident in this game. But
absolutely, they're willing to go to war for each other, which is something you want to see. I think it's something you want to support in terms of the strength of their brotherhood. I will say though, you have to be careful. You have to be careful, and Peterborough annihilated them physically, and that's something that also James Richmond said, head coach and general manager of the Mississauga Steelheads, when I interviewed him for the post game, which, by the way, again, you can check out on our YouTube channel. He said that they were extremely caught off guard by it, and they never were in the right headspace. They were never in the right space to even retaliate physically. They tried, but they were always, taking hard hits, being pushed around by Peterborough, which honestly surprised me a lot.
Yeah, it's
especially since the last time they played, because the last time they played, Peterborough was visiting Mississauga. They won 3-1, and in terms of physicality, it was a pretty submissive game. There wasn't a lot of actual, overall, hard hitting, intent behind the checks. It was just, hey, finish your checks in the corner, go for the puck, whatever, pure hockey, right? But this was like Fight Club. I know I broke the rule. I shouldn't talk about Fight Club, but that was brutal. No, that was absolutely brutal.
No, yeah, like it was, just, I don't want to say that bad discipline was a factor, but I mean, this definitely wasn't their most disciplined game. Because the thing is too, Peterborough came in, and I don't know, they went Super Saiyan mode or something, okay? Because they were not this physical. Listen, man, they were not this physical the last time they came to town. So they weren't complete. Like, I don't know if it was bringing in Chase Stillman and Artem Guriev, but
you know what? Listen, you saying that, I absolutely agree with you. You know what? I think since the departure of McTavish, they've been playing a more physical game to fill in the offensive gap that they no longer have or could replace.
It's almost like they kind of changed up their style, because they're not that much of a physical team. They're more like outscoring.
Oh no, absolutely.
They kind of can't. Well, they traded away a couple of superstars, so they can't be as kind of outscore everybody.
Sure.
They had to change it up a little bit.
So they have to replace that with physicality, and they killed Mississauga with that. They killed them.
It's tough. But I mean, that was definitely not An amazing game. The Steelheads did get 4 goals, which is
They did.
a positive, but
Goaltending was good though for Peterborough that night.
oh yeah.
I forgot who was in that. My apologies, but it was good goaltending for them.
I think goaltending for the Steelheads, and it's very rare that I say this. It wasn't a great night for either goaltender, Joe Ranger or Roman Bazarin, which I mean, it's every so often you're going to have that, right? It's a back-to-back though too. So I mean, that's a contributing factor to that. Man, it just
Sure.
that was a tough game to watch in terms of the physicality side of things, but I think overall it was a decent game. They are going to bounce back and they're going to be stronger because of that. So
They have to. I think there's definitely going to be some, or let's be real here. I think there's definitely some bad blood between these teams now.
I mean, they're going to have to go into Peterborough tonight with the mentality of like, hey, keep your head on and don't overreact, right? Because that's what's going to cause unnecessary penalties and things like that. And though they have a good penalty kill, you never want to be in the box more than you have to.
Absolutely, because being in the box is just another chance for your opponent to score on the odd man advantage, right? And that's something you don't need.
And now now that they've been through Peterborough going and like, hey, we're more physical now. They know what to expect. They know what to anticipate. So I mean, they'll be better prepared for the game tonight. And it's going to be interesting to say the very least. So speaking of tonight's games, let's look ahead into the next, I guess, week long of games, because 4 games this week, 1 tonight, 1 on Thursday, 1 on Friday, and then another one on Sunday. It's a 2-2 game split, so 2 games away and 2 games at home. The first game, as we talked about tonight, is against Peterborough. Revenge tour. It's a revenge tour.
I'm terrified someone will get injured really badly. I'm genuinely terrified by that.
I don't think we have to worry about that quite yet.
Listen, man, Jake Uberti was out for a bit. He missed a couple games, right? From an injury. I'm just thinking, you know what? I'm trying to think if he was in the lineup, would that have changed things? Maybe a tiny bit. Not overall or collectively, I don't think so. But of course, having your first line winger on, it helps. Of course, it helps offensively.
He's a big impact guy for sure. So I think it could have affected the results a little bit, but even still, regardless, they got outmuscled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think tonight they're just gonna have to anticipate that. Thursday's games against the North Bay Battalion, they've been a thorn in the Steelhead side all season.
That is true until Mississauga beat them for first overall in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I think this next stretch of games is going to be a huge test. I think the next 3 games at least are going to be a huge test because you're playing North Bay twice, Peterborough once. You're definitely going to want to show them up a little bit, because if you're the first place team, you want to look good,
absolutely,
but you also want to continue that dominant streak. You
have to defend. Absolutely. You have to defend the throne. The throne is first overall in the OHL, first overall in the Eastern Conference, and in the Central Division.
Yes.
They are on the highest pedestal of the Ontario Hockey League right now. And teams are going to be more tougher to face, knowing that, because they want to dethrone them, right? They want to screw Mississauga up, right? So
they want to take what's theirs, but I mean,
absolutely. It's going to be a tough schedule.
This team has fought hard to get where they are, and I don't see them giving up time soon. I think they're still in first place. I want to say by 6-7 points.
Check right now, actually.
But
I'll check right now.
Yeah, this is going to be the ultimate test. I think you're playing North Bay on Thursday at North Bay Memorial Gardens, and then
nice arena. Sorry, that's my compliment to them. I love Ty Nelson's a great player. Nice arena. Also, Mississauga have a 5 points between them in first and second place in the OHL.
Significantly close.
It's significantly close because I think it was 9 points last time. I remember it was yeah. So they a win could be big here. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and I mean, you're playing North Bay 1 on Thursday, and then you're back home on Friday to face them, which that's going to be an interesting game. And then Sunday is, I think, a big game for a lot of people, because especially our guest coming up, Jake Uberti, because he was traded from Niagara, where he spent the majority of his OHL career, and the Ice Dogs are coming on Sunday to face the Steelheads
The first time he's
for the first,
facing his old team. Yeah.
and he may be in the lineup. He may be in the lineup.
I think he will. I
He
think he
likely
will. James Richmond said that it was 50-50 for today as of what day we're recording, which is Tuesday. He said it. He's 50-50. Um, of course, for their sake, I hope he plays. But the chances of him playing on Sunday against Niagara, I think it's like as high as they could potentially be. If he's 50-50 today against, let's be real here, the worst team in the OHL. So I think they'll play him, but we'll see.
Exactly, and I think like we'll go through the keys to the game, real quick, and then of course, as promised, we'll get to the good stuff, which is our interview with Jake Uberti, which man, he is just such a special player. Let's go into the keys to the game. So I think discipline. That game
Sure.
in Peterborough, you learn that you've got to play more disciplined, even if they start to egg you on and they start to, get you mad and under your skin. You got to keep your head on. Don't do anything rash and don't end up in the penalty box. Another thing is they need to strike first.
Yep.
When we were talking to Matt Cullen the other day, he gave us a couple of statistics, and one of those things was that I think it was 6 out of 10 starts when they scored first, they ended up winning.
No, that was not. Okay, well, that could be one of the statistics he told us. Of course, Matt Cullen, who's commentator for the Mississauga Steelheads on Saga 960 AM. One thing I know he said was Mississauga five out of 10 times they come back and win their games when they're down.
When they're down after the second period, exactly.
Out of second period.
So I think that like in striking first.
Oh no, it helps absolutely
more than often than not.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
One of the things that if you want to get back at Peterborough, the third key to the game, you got to be relentless, because the more that you keep on them and you don't allow them to breathe or any room to kind of get open, the better off you're going to be. So I think those are the three keys to the game. We're going to take a short sponsorship break, and then right ahead, we are going to go right into the interview with Jake Uberti. Once again, it's going to be a good one, I think. So let's get into it then. Today's episode is sponsored by CW Sports Memorabilia. Alex, I can see that you collect a couple of different cool sports artifacts like that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. picture behind you and that amazingly beautiful Ole Bjorkvik jersey as well. What if I told you there was a place that you can get anything you like from any sport for an affordable price?
I would believe you, because that is what CW Sports Memorabilia offers. Our good buddy Charles Warburton, who some of you may know as the official photographer for the Mississauga Steelheads, he runs an incredible sports memorabilia business. He will sell you autographed pucks, sticks, baseball bats, everything from every sport or majority of top North American sports. I'm sorry for the cricket fans. He doesn't have cricket stuff, but he has incredible products in stock.
Absolutely. He's got everything from custom artwork to everything you mentioned, and a lot of really cool stuff, including something that not all sports mem companies do, custom jersey framing. So let's say that you wanted to get your beautiful Mark Stone jersey framed. You can get it done through him, and it's actually pretty affordable. So all you need to do is message them on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, and you can get a quote done to see how much it's going to be. And of course, you can get anything that you like through there. And you know what the best part is, Alex?
What is the best part? I actually don't know this. What's the best part?
If you message CW Sports Memorabilia with code PROSHOT, you can save 10% off. Yes, I do repeat again, 10% off your first order.
Those are some good savings for your first order. Wow, that's actually, yeah. Those are really good savings. Yeah.
Especially if you're going to get a large amount of things, like if you're going to get pucks or anything like that, it's incredible. So
even for jersey framing. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely go check out CW Sports Memorabilia. We will link their social medias in the description below. And a special thank you to CW Sports Memorabilia once again for sponsoring this video. So, of course, as promised, we were going to start off our first segment, which is called First Cast. Jake Uberti, welcome to the show. And we hope that you and your family are doing well during these kind of crazy times. What have you been up to recently? And hope you're doing well.
What's up, guys? Yeah, all is well with me. Hope you guys are well too. A lot of hockey, a lot of things going on at the rink. Excited to be a part of the new team and to continue winning and to have a deep playoff push here.
And I'm glad to hear that. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you, I think that when we spoke before, we just been introduced to each other, but now let's go back a little bit into your hockey roots. What was the moment where you were just like, man, I really just want to start playing hockey? Do you recall like a certain moment where it was just like, yeah, this is the thing that I want to do?
Yeah. It was a while back. I think we were like minor Adams, so we were like 9 or 10, and there's the first away tournament of my career, and we got to fly to Chicago, and I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. You get to travel around the world to play hockey, and you get to stay in a hotel, and you have all these new experiences, and you're renting a car, and you're in a new town surrounded by new people. So I was like, that's pretty cool. To be able to do that one day would be unreal. So that's when I really started pushing to play.
And for Steel, yeah, no, absolutely, that has to be cool. I've been to Chicago once. It was very enthralling, just how different it is. Everyone there just kind of like conduct themselves, and the whole architecture is awesome. So I can only imagine as a 9 or 10-year-old experiencing that. For Steelhead fans who are new to you, Jake, who are new to you, of course, being on the team, how would you describe your play style?
I would describe my play style as versatile. I don't really mind what role I play. I don't care, quite frankly. As long as the team's doing well and we're having success as a group, that's what I'm here for. That's why I play hockey. I play hockey to win, for nothing else. So anything that I can do to help the team win, that's what I'm here for, and that's what I'm gonna do.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people have been saying is like, you're very team oriented, super will do anything to help the team win. So that's great to hear.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thanks.
Now you've been playing in Mississauga for the last couple of weeks now. We asked you originally what your first impressions were, and now that you've gotten the chance to kind of settle in and get a little bit of a flavor for the organization, what have your opinions changed from then to now?
They haven't really changed. They've kind of just been reinforced a little bit. This is a very high class organization. All the staff that's involved on a day-to-day basis are great. Freighty, Benna, all the coaches, they're all great. They're all top notch. All the boys are great guys. Everyone wants to win. Everyone will do anything to win. That's why they're so successful, and that's why it's so exciting to be here.
And of course, for anyone who hasn't seen or heard the news, if I would assume you're living under a rock if you didn't hear, but of course you were traded from Niagara to Mississauga, and of course being traded can be a very stressful process. But as I was doing some research for this interview with you, I found out you're a Toronto native, so I'm curious to ask you, man, does coming from Niagara to Mississauga make things a bit easier, knowing you're heading closer to home?
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually living at home during the year, so that's pretty cool. It makes things a lot easier because you don't have to adjust to a new billet house and whatnot. You pretty much fall back into your same routine that you're at when you're at home. And yeah, adjusting has been good. Like I said, the team's great. Like you could see why they do so well is because they're so tight, and I'm just happy to be a part of that now. The guys are great. Excited to keep getting to know them.
And that's great. I mean, honestly, we've been hearing all year how kind of tight knit this group of guys compared to other teams is, and it's quite fascinating because I think this is the first time that we've seen in so many years a team that's this close. You know, it's a great thing to see. It's such a great thing to see. And with so many games being played the last couple of weeks, you guys have a 4-game week this week. Was there a time in possibly your OHL career so far where you've had to play so many games in a short period of time?
Yeah, I think the year before COVID, there was this stretch of games where we played like 6 games in 10 days, which was pretty difficult, but it prepares you for weeks like this when you got 4 in a week. So yeah, just doing your best to take care of your body and passing on that information to the young guys would be important for our success this week. So that's the plan.
Wow, that's incredible. 6 games in 10 days. I couldn't imagine.
It's brutal.
That's a lot. It's tough on the hips for sure.
That's brutal. I can't even think about that. Oh my God. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. And hopefully, when people see this interview, when I would of course imagine they're Mississauga fans, just want to give you an opportunity. If there was anything you wanted to say to Steelhead fans, either about you or just anything kind of like that, what would that be?
Just to reiterate how excited I am to be here and how all in I am with all in I am with this team and this organization. And yeah, just really excited for the next couple months.
And you know what? I know that you guys have to be pretty excited too. And I know that all of us at home are watching. We're pretty excited to see you guys go out and make that playoff push in the last couple of months of the season. And Jake, we wanted to wish you the best of luck going forward, and including this week when you have that 4-game stretch. So thank you very much for taking the time to sit down with us this afternoon. We really appreciate it, and we wanted to wish you luck going forward.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having me. It's nice getting to know you guys. Excited to see you guys around at the rink when
Absolutely.
it's safe to do so.
And we would love to have you back on sometime.
Yeah, sweet, sure, no problem. I'd enjoy it.
We hope you enjoyed this interview with Jake Uberti. I know that it was a pleasure having him on the show. And then once again, thank you very much, Jake, for your time. We would love to have you back on again. Alex, we had a lot of hockey to talk about this week. We got the chance to talk to Jake. And I think coming up, this is going to be a pretty productive week for the team. But I think we're going to have to wrap it up for this one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell notification for all future content. If you haven't already done so, also follow us on our social medias down below, and we will talk to you next time. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and be kind to everyone.